All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Depending on which side of the world you're on. I normally say I'm dialing in from Johannesburg, South Africa. Today, I'm dialing in from New Jersey in the
And
USA.
and I normally say I'm dialing in from Mallorca, Spain, and I'm dialing in from Montreal, Canada. So this is uh, this is super.
Absolutely amazing. Those of you that don't know, George and I were at the This Is It convention a week and a half ago, and we're going to share we shared some of the nuggets last week. In today's training, there's a clip that nobody has seen yet, which I've been sort of like holding back for everybody. It's a gem that I recorded, and I've eventually downloaded it onto my laptop. But yeah, so you guys obviously saw the topic of the invitation, business training. It's
Let's
something
talk
that
about the money.
let's talk about the money, which is so interesting. In this world that we live in, yes, health is very important. We're making a huge difference, a massive impact in people's lives with their health, which is so important because you've all heard about money. Money is important. If you don't have your health, what does that mean? What does that mean? You don't take the money with you. But while we are here on this planet, it's pretty important. As Zig Ziglar says, it's right up there with air. It's take money away for a while, and you'll see the difference it makes in your life. And what's so amazing is we talk about money, which is sometimes a taboo topic, and people are like, no, you can't talk about money. Um, but the way I see it is money combined with what we're doing right now is rewarding people for making a difference in people's lives. So, David Smith, he had a big decision to make, but I'm going to play a clip, a 2-minute clip shortly, where David will explain everything. That's David Smith, the CEO, inventor of LifeWave. But before I talk about that, very quickly about, myself, what I've done the last 2 decades. 20 years ago, I worked in direct sales. I worked as a commission-only sales rep. Absolutely loved my job, make no mistake. But the thing is, when you are commission-only sales, you are unemployed until you make that next sale. So you'd work, get your commission at the end of the beginning of the month, you start on zero. And I remember when I first got my sales job, the first year that you got employed, you did not have 1 day's leave. You weren't allowed to take any leave. And, you know, when you also working in sales, the moment that you decide you are going to take a week's leave, it's the workup until you take leave. And then when you're on leave, you're not earning money while you are away. So for every rand, every dollar that you spend, it's actually costing you basically $2. So, from there, from sales, I went into my own company, my own business. And let me tell you something, anybody that's sitting on the call here that has ever started their own business, and I'm talking about like a traditional business out there, um, it costs a lot of money. Have a look at a franchise. Have you ever inquired what it costs to purchase a franchise? You're looking at hundreds and thousands of dollars. And all that money needs to pay back unless you've got the money up front to buy it outright. Um, and then, in my traditional business, you've got to keep at it nonstop. You cannot get off the wheel. And the moment you're not working, the money comes to a stop. And this is what I love about network marketing. You do the work once off, and it's a passive income that you earn ongoing. Now, in traditional business, you've got what you call a supply chain. So it doesn't matter what type of business it is, monies need to get paid out in different areas. And this is where I want to give everybody a bit of perspective. Where some people say, are you making other people rich? No, that's not the case in network marketing. Very different. Now, in the world out there where you've got supply chains, you've got different commissions that need to get paid along the way, different suppliers, and then you've obviously got your merchandising, then you've got the retailers that need to get paid. Now, with the retailers, this is where the money all filters to the top. So you're talking about making these corporations multi-million dollar corporations, and there's a margin, and it's only about 60% margin that gets paid out along the way. Now, if you look at LifeWave being a network marketing company, we're still working on that same margin of 60%. The only difference here is those commissions getting paid don't have to get paid out to costs and wages and salaries and rentals and mortgages and brick and mortar costs. This money, the same amount of money, gets paid out to its brand partners. And what's beautiful about it is that every week, every Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, when everybody gets paid, it gets paid out to thousands of people within the structure, and it doesn't all filter up to the top of the corporations. So David Schmidt had to make a decision. As we all know, LifeWave was started in 2004, right? So we're a 19-year-old company. But he got in front of the Olympic swimming team. And just before that happened, he was going to make LifeWave a traditional retail company, taking it to the pharmacies, taking it to the health shops, going on to TV, going on to radio advertising. And there's a word called synchronicity, people, places, and events, and everything happening in a certain sequential structure. And when you hear what David says, you'll understand why he made that decision to turn LifeWave into a network marketing company, because the fastest way to get a product into the marketplace is through word of mouth. We do it every day. We go out for a good meal. We watch a good movie, good restaurant. What do? We share it with other people. That's what we do naturally as human beings. So some of you have seen this on the presentation, and some of you on the training might not have seen the updated presentation. This is just a 2-minute clip that I'm going to show with David explaining how and why he turned LifeWave into a network marketing company. And then I've got a really, really awesome, cool clip straight after that, where there's well-known people that actually endorse the industry that we're in right now. So let me play these 2 clips quickly, and then George and I'll let George continue to talk from there. Right, share sound. Right, here goes. Slideshow. Right, beginning.
When I started LifeWave and was doing an evaluation of how to market this, I was thinking about radio and TV. I approached GNC, who wanted to market the product, looked at infomercials and talked to companies about doing that. We did some testing. And I had an experience where a fellow that was a business friend introduced me to somebody. We had a business lunch, and then he ran into somebody in a movie theater who was interested in investing in LifeWave. I met with that guy, and then he introduced me to a medical doctor who introduced me to another medical doctor who was friends with Coach Richard Quick at Stanford University. So in about a 3-week period of time, I went from sitting at a lunch in Beaufort to being out at Stanford University putting patches on Olympic swimmers with Richard Quick, a 6-time US Olympic coach. And when I really thought about that, I said, you know, this would never have happened with the product sitting on the shelf at GNC. Would never happen. Yeah. This is all networking. I need to go back and reevaluate this. And so in July of 2004, I flew out to California. I was invited there by Coach Quick to see the Olympic trials. And when I landed, he said, well, we have an issue. The Olympic Committee thinks that there's drugs in these patches, and they want you to, explain what the technology is. So I met with this fellow, Dr. Scott Rodeo, explained what the patches were. They took them down to UCLA Microanalytical Lab, validated, there were only natural materials in the patches, and we were vindicated. But over 1,000 people contacted me wanting to buy the product and be a distributor for this new technology. And I was like, okay, the alarm bells went off. Clearly, what God is telling me, this is supposed to be a network marketing company. And 3 months later, on November 10th of 2004, we started sales. We did $500,000 in business our very first month. and 17 million in sales for 2005. So it was a very, very clear sign this was where our home was supposed to be.
Wow.
When
Because of all of the misinformation about this profession, I think it's important for you to hear from some people you may know and what they think about network marketing. Former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, speaking to a group of network marketers, said, "You strengthen our country and our economy, not just by striving for your own success, but by offering the opportunity to others. Your industry gives people a chance, after all, to make the most of their own lives. And to me, that's the heart of the American dream." Former Prime Minister of Great Britain, Tony Blair, said, "Network marketing is a tremendous contribution to the overall prosperity of the economy." Billionaire investor Warren Buffett, after purchasing ownership of a network marketing company, said, "It was the best investment I ever made." Financial literacy expert and best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki said, "Network marketing gives people the opportunity with very low risk and very low financial commitment to build their own income-generating asset and acquire great wealth. It has the potential to save the United States and the world because it teaches people not to be employees, but be entrepreneurs." Billionaire investor and best-selling author Donald Trump said, "If I were starting over today, I would make millions in the network marketing industry." Motivational speaker and TV personality Les Brown said, "Network marketing has produced more millionaires than any other industry in the history of the world." Motivational speaker and best-selling author Jim Rohn said, "Network marketing is really the greatest source of grassroots capitalism because it teaches people how to take a small bit of capital, that is your time, and build the American dream." Best-selling author and university professor Stephen Covey said, "I think network marketing has come of age. It's become undeniable that it's a viable way to entrepreneurship and independence for millions of people." Motivational speaker and best-selling author Brian Tracy said, "The future of network marketing is unlimited. It has probably made more millionaires of more people in more countries than any other form of business starting from nothing. There's no end in sight. It will continue to grow because better people are getting into it. It will become one of the respected business methods in the world." Economist and best-selling author Harry S. Dent Jr. said, "The advantage of network marketing is the ease of entry, low risk, and low startup cost. Almost everything else has very high risk." Co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and motivational speaker Jack Canfield said, "Network marketing has been nothing but good for everyone I know who's been involved with it because they did it seriously. They played full out and they have been very successful. It's a constant barrage of success stories. I would get involved. You can always test drive anything, the product, the service, the community, and then lean into it a bit. If it feels good, lean into it a lot."
How awesome is that? I love the one part where he talks about the low entry. Now, talking as a business owner, guys, start LifeWave for $125 and you've got a business in a box is a drop in the ocean and you become part of this beautiful community. George, go for it.
Okay, so thanks for those, Chris. It's always interesting to see what those other guys say. We have a gentleman on the call called Harry Hall, invited by Wilson. And one of the things I was saying to him this morning, and some of you guys have heard me say this about LifeWave, we are unlike the other networks that are really going uphill with the wind in their face. We're going downhill with the wind in our backs. What do I mean by that? Our product is so good, it works so effectively. I put an Eon on my cousin who hadn't been sleeping. He slept till 7. His sinuses were better. He noticed it, and he's super skeptical. It works. The product that works that then other people naturally tell other people about. And Chris says what network marketing should have been to start with. Now, we wanted to do this call because we need to continue showing people how this structure works. I've had a lot of questions on that, but also a little bit to, how shall I say, be clear. We discover some people have some sort of a reticence. They're happy to take the health benefits of what LifeWave offers, of what LifeWave products offers, but they're reticent to even accept the financial benefits that LifeWave offers and to talk about those things. I guess everybody who's on this call is interested in improving their financial life. I certainly was. I was somebody who spent a fortune setting up businesses through my life. Some of them worked, some of them haven't. Before COVID, I'd been working on a very big platform for the restaurant business. 2 years work, speaking with lawyers, tech people, setting up companies, had a billionaire about to put $1.5 million into it. It was for the restaurant world. It went to pot because all the restaurants were closed. So personally, I was casting around, looking for something to which to give my energy. And I'm very, very fortunate that I came across LifeWave. I've been involved in all sorts of different things. I met Chris in one of those things. Another one of my projects kind of fell apart because it needed paperwork from local government and they were all working from home doing nothing. It might come to life. Another project of mine cost an extra year to put to rights and a lot more money. So when I came across LifeWave and I saw the results with the product, and then I understood this incredibly good binary system, incredibly where the company gives back 60% to the brand partners, and I saw what it could do, i.e., you lead with a product, you don't lead with an opportunity, but a product that is really life-changing and brings people out of tremendous pain. By the way, Harry, I talked to you about Tommy, gentleman who's here on the call, who was 7 years in a wheelchair. Tommy, he's out of his wheelchair, insulin, no more oxygen, blood all in range. Heather's on the call. She had macular degeneration. She's in Ireland. Her eyesight has improved tremendously in the 2-3 months since we've met. Desiree's here, her husband with Parkinson's, huge improvement. So some of you know these people, some of you don't, but the improvements are huge, and they're from people who right here you can talk to. So the reticence that we have noticed from some people to talk about money, maybe some people are afraid, some people think money is not spiritual or something like that. I don't know. But we have here a powerful system to change your money life if you so choose. And both Chris and I, what we want to do is help everybody who wants to do that to take it to the limit. And I've said this before, but there's some new people on the call. I'm going to say it again, and then I go back to Chris. When I hit, thank you, Lord, 1,000 people in my downline, and I couple that with the testimonies I'd heard from those 1,000 people in that time, from 0 to 1,000, we all start with nobody. And I coupled that with the money I could see coming into my wallet. I said something that's really counterintuitive. Go make a fortune here, because the more money you make here, the more people you're helping. Now, in my life, what has the money allowed me to do? It's allowed me, for example, to take this trip. It's allowed me to do maintenance on the house that has been necessary for the last few years. It's allowed me to replace broken things. We all have broken things in our houses. So I'm very, very thankful for it and say thank you every day. But at the same time, I'm not saying I want to rest on my laurels. I want to take this as far as it can. I'm having a lot of fun and I'm loving helping people who want to do the same. You know, Chris and I, we play a tag team. You know, some weeks he's 2 levels down below me, but some weeks he's made more money than I have. And then I said to him, you can pay my ticket for South Africa. So I wanted to bring this out and have this as a very clear thing. Javi always says we're offering 4 things here. We're offering we're offering physical health. We're offering spiritual health. Physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, and financial health. So, I'll go through it. We all know what physical health means. Emotional health, what's that? When my friend Raquel in Andalusia She sends me a message 4 days after her mother's on the patch saying her sugar levels have gone to normal, and sends me a message, "You do not know how much joy this has brought to our family because of the times we've had to rush her to hospital. Since October, her sugar levels have stayed normal. Mum's in her mid-late 70s, says, I'm never going to be without these patches." That is emotional health for their family. It ripples out. Spiritual health. When, this one's maybe a bit harder to understand, but, when I get messages every day with people saying, thank you, this has done this for me, this has done that for me, that feeds me hugely. And Chris is nodding his head because he has the same. And obviously financial health, not to be worrying about the price of tomatoes, is very, very, very comforting, let's say. And I use the word phrase, my financial anxieties are receding. They haven't completely receded, but they are definitely receding. And the fact that the money lands in my account every week is wonderful. So that said, I'm going to pass it back to you, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you, George. And yet again, I just want to say thank you to you from the bottom of my heart for introducing me to LifeWave. You've made a huge difference in my life. You've made a difference in my family's life. Not the product, make no mistake, because what you were talking about now, we lead with the product. And this is something I've been looking for a long time, because, if you had to phone me up and say, hey, Chris, I've got a business opportunity to show you, I would have told you to go fly a kite. Bye-bye, George. Those days are over. Those days are over. That's, I was talking to Harvey the other day, and we were talking about network marketing. It's not the industry that has got the bad name. The industry has been around for over 100 years. And like Les Brown says, it's made more millionaires than any other industry in the world. But let's not talk about millions. Let's talk about making an extra $100 a week. Let's start there. Or even a month. Start at $100 a month. Let me tell you, when I got my first commission of $50, I was jumping around the kitchen, doing cartwheels, receiving $50 commission. I was over the moon, absolutely over the moon. And that all comes from the product, and we lead with the product, because as you guys know the story, George saw me on a Zoom call, tired. I was drained. I had black rings under my eyes. I was not a happy camper. And George saw me on the call. And I'm just going to say, as it is on the call, George sent me a message. Do you know what he said to me? He said, Chris, you look like shit. And I was like, excuse me? I was like, oh my word. I said, wow, thank you for the compliment. Like, really? He said, I mean it in a good way. All right, guys, I'm not saying when you want to go prospect, say what George said to me. But it's because of the relationship that we've got. He was able to say something as direct to me as that, and it got my attention. But he sent me a bit of information, as you guys know. I didn't take it in straight away. It took about 20, 21 messages. And then George got my attention. But guess how he got my attention, guys? Not with the money. A testimony times 2. He sent me 2 testimonies in one voice note, where George was telling me about his friend in France that has been suffering from tinnitus for 40 years. And he started wearing the patches and it helped his tinnitus. Guess what? My partner Lucinda's had tinnitus for 4 years. Then he told me about Harvey and Olga, with their son Alex, with autism. And now the patch helped Alex in 3 weeks. Guess what? My nephew has got autism. George doesn't know my personal life. How did he know to send 2 testimonies that were relevant to me? So it just shows you that he didn't.
He didn't.
And that's big, that's called synchronicity, because we're talking about frequency. So I said, okay, George, I'm going to give this a go. Skeptical, guys. I was, as we all were, as everybody is, this is like Star Trek stuff, guys. This is like out of this planet. You put a little patch on yourself and it's going to do that? Really? So I thought, 19 years? Because that was one of the first questions I asked George. I said, this looks interesting. How long has this company been around? I thought he was going to tell me 6 months or a year. If George said to me 1 year, I would have said, okay, let's see. But when George said 19 years, I just went, thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Because one word popped into my head there and then, the word stability. Guys, I don't know if anybody else on this call, some of us have been in different network marketing companies before. I'm so sick and tired of here today, gone tomorrow. Here today, gone tomorrow. I got taken out 3 years ago in a crypto scam. Anybody comes near me, network marketing and crypto, I run for the hills. I run for the hills. But you got to do your due diligence. There are companies and products and platforms out there, but you got to be so careful in this world that we live in. And I was wiped out. I was completely financially wiped out. I'm like wiped off the planet. So I went into a little hole. I was in a little hole for a while. You know, when you've been working for 30 years of your life and you start again at zero at the age of, I was 46, 47 at that time, you're starting from zero. That is not cool. And yes, I went to depression. I went into complete depression, built myself up. And then when George introduced me to LifeWave end of last year, I didn't have any direction. I was just floating, kind of floating, just making money to get by. I didn't have any goals. I didn't have any vision. I didn't have anything to really excite me, to wake me up in the morning. Guys, what this company has done for me, not just with the product, I think what it's done for me with my health. I think what it's done for my mom. Guys, I'll be totally honest with you. I don't think my mom would actually be here today. My mom is actually on her way out. And all I can say is thank God for LifeWave because it was touch and go with my mom. And my mom's still alive because of LifeWave. That I'm telling you right now. That I'm telling you. And I know that in my whole heart. Sure. I know that in my soul. I just know that my mom's alive today because of LifeWave. I know it. I don't think it. I know it. So I'm all in. Guys, I'm so all
And
in with
and you have a purpose in life again.
it. I just want to make geez, I want to make a difference in this world. I just want to help everybody. I want to stand on a mountain and I just want to shout at the mountaintops and I just want to tell everybody about this and just help people. People are suffering with health out there. I was reading an article, 1.5, guys, listen to this figure. How many people are on this planet? 8 billion, right? 1.5 billion people are suffering with a health issue. And guess what? There's another probably 5 billion suffering with an income issue. Suffering with an income issue, guys. We've been to this world, what this world has been through the last 3 years is criminal. Criminal what this world has been through. You know, people have lost their jobs, their dignity, their homes, their families, their everything. People are picking themselves back up again. And we've just learned that there's no guarantee in this world, guys. But something did come out of COVID. Let me tell you something. And I find it something that is beautiful. Community. Man, oh man, we stood together, hey, as a community, as human beings. We actually, for the first time in a long time, actually stood together. And what I picked up is people instinctively actually want to help other human beings. I can see you nodding, Janet. Yep. Yep. That's what I picked up. People actually want to help other people. And that's what I find absolutely beautiful. And that's what we have in our hands right now, the ability to make a difference in people's lives with their health. And like I say, very importantly, I don't want to use the word wealth. I just want to use the word an income to get by as a starter. As a starter, because when I started, I didn't have the money to join, guys. When I spoke to George, it was about the 20th of November. I so desperately wanted to join. George sent me the link, and I did not have the money. I had to put my tail between my legs and go to my ex-business partner to ask him for some children's toys on consignment. I haven't spoken to him for 4 years, and I asked him to give me toys, and I went to go and sell at a market with my partner. She was selling clothes at a market, and I was selling these toys. I was standing the whole day just selling these little toys to make a tiny bit of money just so that I could join LifeWave. That was 8 months ago. And here I am in the USA today, seeing my kids. I haven't seen my kids in 3 years. I saw my son last week for the first time in 3 years because of LifeWave. I saw my son. That is what LifeWave has given to me, to see my son. So hopefully I'm going to see my daughter next week. So it's patching. LifeWave is patching the holes that have been made. But you know what, George and I, we always say little by little. And we want to make sure, every single person, there's 36 people on this call, every single person sitting on the call has got the exact same opportunity, because what this industry does is it levels the playing field. Every single person starts at the same place. So when George said, when he started, you got naught on your left side and you got naught people on the right side. When I opened up my back office on the 26th of November, I went, where do I start? Where do I start? Who do I talk to? I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And George helped me every step of the way, as we all help each other. And this is where we are right now. So with people, there's three things when it comes to people. You're either working for somebody, you're either working with somebody, or you're either working through somebody. So you're probably thinking, working through somebody, what are we talking about, invisible people here? No. What I mean by that is, if you're working for somebody, you're working for a boss. You've got a cap. You've got a cap on your earnings. You've got a cap on absolutely everything. We're talking about getting rid of that cap. Then you're working with somebody. So we're working in this beautiful community. We're working with each other. But then when I talk about working through somebody, I'm going to give you a perfect example. So I've signed up somebody personally. They got involved, they got going, they signed up 3 or 4 people. They got busy, they got distracted, they're there, but they're just not actively involved. But now I'm talking about somebody I was actually busy with last night. So I'm talking from a real experience right now. I won't mention any names, but there's a person that has been involved right in the beginning. It's the first person I signed up, the very first person I signed up. She's busy with a whole lot of other things, but the person that signed up underneath her reached out and said, Chris, I've got people that I'd like to introduce to LifeWave. Can you help me? I said, you just tell me when. I said, let's set up a Zoom. We've got a Zoom tomorrow, and I'm helping her to have a Zoom with the people that she wants to sign up into LifeWave. So that's what I mean, working through a person. So the original person that I signed up is not connected, not plugged in. But what I did do is I took a screenshot, because I can have a look in my profile. I went under personally enrolled members. I clicked on her name and I had a look. Her right side, 648 people, and her left side, 2. 2 people on the left, 648 people on the right. I said to her, you have got a structure underneath you and you haven't done anything. That's the beauty of network marketing. So I highly advise we get onto a Zoom call very, very soon, and let's get you going. So that's what I mean by working through somebody. Harvey always talks about it. You've heard George talk about it. We talk about working in the deep, and that's helping all the people within the entire ecosystem, because that all equates into turnover, points, all that type of thing. And you don't have to get too over analytical as to exactly how everything works in the beginning. Don't let analysis causes paralysis kick in, because sometimes we can get so over bogged down in the little nitty-bitty little things. Don't worry about that. Guys, when I get into my car, I'm a guy, so I should sort of know quite a bit about cars. But listen, when I put my key in that ignition and I turn it, I expect it to start. I put it into reverse, I go, put it into drive, I put my foot down and I go. And I just want to make sure I put gas in and the car keeps going. Don't ask me. I know that you put gas in and there's like pipes in a tank and spark plugs and oil, and that all just does stuff in the engine. It makes pistons. There's pistons in the car and it does something, heat, and it makes the car go. The car goes. Guys, I don't know how it works. I didn't study how a car goes. A vehicle, motor vehicle, I don't know. I don't really care either. I just want to put my key in the ignition, start it, and it's get me from A to B. So it's kind of like this is where we get so caught up in the nitty-gritty in the beginning, because what's going to happen is you're going to be waiting for that perfect moment to get started. Network marketing comes into our lives at the most inconvenient time. You notice network marketing comes when you're busy with so many other things, and that is where opportunities you can miss opportunities so quickly. It comes like it's right there. It can be disguised. It's a case of just plugging in, and you'll see this is the beginning. We haven't even got started yet.
No, the way
I
I
just want to
describe
see
it,
Harvey. Is Harvey here? Where's Harvey?
he's not here
Not
yet.
yet.
But
Okay.
the way I describe it, it's like we've got the car and we've got the key in the ignition. All the quantum field team, we've got the key in the ignition, and that's where we are at the moment. So we beginning to drive. Anyways.
So what I'm going to do now, right, guys, now, Mark Hernandez, you guys all know who Mark and Sahi Hernandez is. If you don't, they are part of our upline structure, and they've been part of LifeWave for 13 months now. And if I look at what they are doing in this business in such a short time frame, I'm still trying to comprehend that, but I'm not overthinking it. It's just nice to know these are the possibilities. These are the possibilities of where you can get to with LifeWave. So what I did was, at the This Is It convention, I recorded their training when they were on stage. It's 12 minutes. You guys are going to be the very first people to watch this. I just did the editing. Everything should work out perfect. This is Mark Hernandez and Sahi Hernandez. They are the
They invited Javi. They invited Javi. So we have Onyx Cole put together the quantum field team. She invited Stephen Gina. Stephen Gina invited Mike. Mike invited Javi. There's like 4 people between Javi and I. One of them I've met, but most of them are sort of quiet. And then between I and Chris, one other person.
Let me move this to the next slide. There we go. Right, there we go. So, it was so amazing watching these people on Zooms for the past basically 8 months, and to meet these people in person was the most amazing thing. The most down to earth, humble guys, the most humble people I've ever met in my life, wanting to make a big difference in this world. So here we go. So here's the recording of Mark and Sahi that was just at the This Is It convention. It's 12 minutes. Maybe get some popcorn out, get your cold drink out, sit back, put your feet up. Here goes.
Okay, when we got started, we had not been involved in network marketing for the past 8 years. So we didn't have a team. I didn't sponsor anybody with a team, but I had a goal, and our goal was somewhat, we're good. I think reasonable once I did the numbers, right? I'm a numbers guy. And my goal was to be, our goal was to be making $10,000 per month within our 12th month. This is our 13th month now in the business, all right? Things didn't actually go the way we planned, but we're not mad at all right? So I needed to know exactly what that looked like. I'm very, very detail oriented. I wanna make a goal. I wanna know exactly what it's gonna take every single step, and then I'm off and running, right? So I knew that in order to get to $10,000 per month, residual, the most important thing is auto ship. Guys, if you are not sponsoring people on auto ship, I'm telling you right now, you're not doing the business. You are creating a second job, not a secondary source of income, not a residual business. It's about auto ship. I put everyone on auto ship. I know a lot of people say, Mike, I put them on later, because, it's easy to come on. No, it's easy to come off. I'm going to put you up because I want to set you up the right way to win. Guys, this is about residual income. This is about creating freedom, right? So it only happens through auto ship. Get that straight. So I knew, I always look at the residual, not so much about the bonuses. And keep in mind that the numbers that I'm talking about right now have nothing to do with the other bonuses. This is just simply residual from auto ship. In order to get to 10,000 per month, I knew I needed 420 people on my lesser side and 840 on my greater side, with a total of 2 sleeves auto ship, because we know that 1 sleeve auto ship is going to allow you to retain your points, right? You're going to keep your points. You're not going to lose your points. But in order to make all the money, you need at least 2 sleeves auto ship, right? You guys know that, right? All right, if you don't, now you know. So I knew that 420 people on 144 points of auto ship and 840 on the greater side was going to get me there. Now here's the deal. It doesn't matter how many I want. That doesn't matter. It could have been maybe 6 people, right? In a perfect world, you can actually get to this level with 6 people. But we know we don't live in a perfect world, right? So I don't want to stain my shirt. My finger. So this was the number that we set out to, and obviously, like I said, we probably did not that we hit that number that month because we had this month. People because of all the bonuses, but we surpassed our 12-month goal in our first month, and we've never looked back, right? But guys, I broke down the numbers. So that when I sponsor somebody, hey Saeed, are you open to a business opportunity? Are you making all the money you want to make? Right? I'm always pitching business, guys. I am pitching an opportunity. I don't talk to people about the patch before I talk to them before they give me the green light to sit down with me about an opportunity. When they sit down with me about an opportunity, they don't even know what I'm talking about. They don't know what they're there to hear about. They just know that they heard about an opportunity to make money. Not about passion, not about that. All right, so I kind of do it different. When she sits down, I want to know, what is your goal after I show her the business? How much money would it take for you to be really excited about something, right? How much money would it take for you to get to these goals or these needs or these wants? I always look to see what it is people want. I want to retire my wife from home. Okay, good. From work? Great. How much money will that take? I want to be able to do this? Great. How much money? Because I want to paint for them what we need to do to get them free. All right? So always find out what it is that they're looking for. Is it $1,000 a month? Is it $1,000 a week? What is it? Let me show it to you. Then I'm going to show it to Saeed. Well, Saeed said, man, an extra $4,000 a month will change her life. An extra $52,000 a year, right, will change her life. So I'm going to tell her, well, Saeed, it's going to take 168 people on your lesser side, 330 on your greater side, as a result of you telling a few people. I know many of you look at these numbers, you're like, wow, guys, you're not really understanding the power of compounding, right? Because it's like this, guys. You tell 5 people, that tell 5, obviously you're getting paid for 25. That tell 5 is 125. That tell 5 is 625. So on and on and on. So I help them understand that vision, that this is not based on you, but as a result of you bringing a few, that bring a few, that bring a few, right? 2 that tell 2 is 4 that tell 6, right? That tells whatever. So that's what I learned to do. And here's the deal, guys. I want you to understand something. It's 80-20. Right? We know that we have to go 20 left and 20 right, and I'm glad that Steve is going to talk about that. So this was my goal, 20 left, 20 right. But it's always 80-20. What do I mean? 80% of the people you put in are not going to really be the ones. 20% of them will duplicate what you do. At least go for it, right? So if I put 20 to the left and 20 to the right, that means I got 4 people to the left, 4 people to the right, who are going to do the same thing. So if it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're going to go 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and that's how we're going to get these numbers. It's not about how many, again, you're going to bring. It's about what's going to unfold as a result.
It's about creating managers. It all goes down to helping everybody that you sign up go manager, and those that go manager help others go manager, and that's the system. That's the way we get to the top.
So guys, so now, how do we build momentum, right? We know that belief excitement builds belief, and belief builds momentum, right? So I get the belief through the patches, right? The product. I always tell somebody, if I'm talking to Kevin Wilson, Kevin, I know you're a leader, I know you don't want to do this, I get that, I didn't want to do it either, but if this patch really does work the way we're telling you, if it really does change lives, would you agree that we have something special, especially if it's completely exclusive to us through our patents? I need to get him to see the bigger picture, see the vision, and then get him to try the patches with everyone around him, like I said, right? So that's how we get the people started. Then, guys, from there on, it's calls. All right, now that you see it, oh my God, Mike, my mother-in-law, my cousin, my wife, my this, okay, great. Now that you see it, let's go to work. How do we go to work? Guys, phone calls right away. Three-way calls. Many people on my own team can't get me a lot of times. Why? I'm always talking. Guys, you gotta put massive action into this business. So I will tell you, I'm talking to people all the time, they don't even realize it. I'm having dinner. And I'm talking at this energy, you don't even realize it. Between my speaks, I'm eating as much as I can. And not everyone's gonna do that, I get it. But guys, that's what it takes to make the kind of income that we're making. I know not everybody will do that. And that's why not everybody will be here making this kind of money. But guys, at what level are you willing to do it? I'm just telling you, it's about massive action, activity, right? So calls. From these calls, he gets me on a couple of three-way calls. I meet Saeed, hey Saeed, get on some of her calls. Then Zooms, three-way calls. I'm sorry, Zooms just between the team. From there, home meetings. Guys, we've been doing home meetings. It's funny, I spoke about Rod yesterday. I got Rod on the call, right? We did a call, then we did a Zoom, then we got into we did a home meeting right before we came here. We got into a West Palm Beach open meeting, and here we are at the event. So it goes from calls, Zoom, meetings, home meetings, and hotel meetings, right? The open meetings, and then conventions. Guys, that's all we're doing. We're simply just promoting. And this business is simple, guys. You just gotta put some massive action. Let me ask you guys something. And just be real with yourself, right? You don't even, actually you should raise your own hand if this applies to you, because I believe that taking ownership and taking responsibility, accountability is huge, guys. You gotta look yourself in the mirror, because that's the person you gotta deal with every single day. That's the guy who's gonna make it or break it for you. It's you and only you. So let me ask you something. How many of you here today, and I don't care what level you are, and I can tell you, if you don't, you can try and lie to yourself, you're not gonna lie to me. I don't care at what level you are. All right, I know some senior presidential directors that are gonna raise their hand, because I'm gonna raise my hand. How many of you will say, Mike, I am really truly just operating at a fraction of my potential? Raise your hand. Congratulations, because it takes a lot to say that to yourself. Now my question is, why? Guys, why? This is what you're on your knees, you're praying for something, you're asking God for an opportunity, and they send it to you, and you admit to yourself, like I admit to myself, I am not doing everything that I can do. I tell Saeed, guys, we're driving to dinner. So I love my wife. I love you, baby, by the way. Because I don't know how she puts up with me. All right? We're having dinner.
I love you.
I'm on the phone. I'm at a restaurant. My lovely wife is sitting down all by herself. All right? I'm outside. I don't like to miss calls. Keston calls me. Brooke calls me all the time. Do I ever say no? Let me tell you, for those of you who can't find me, it's because I got people like Brooke and Keston and Javi and Alda, and they are working. Michael Bridges working me to the bone, and I thank you. And shame on you, Dr. Tony. I saw him yesterday. He's like, hey, you forgot my number. I'm like, yeah, you forgot mine too. Right? We don't even talk to each other. We're working, guys. We are hitting it hard. It takes massive action. It's time, guys. It's time, because I'm telling you right now, this is our first convention. Steve and I were talking about this last night. And in the last one, their first convention, they had about 400 people. Guys, you don't understand what you are part of. You don't understand. I think I get a glimpse of it, and I know I don't have the power to see the vision that we are unfolding. Guys, this is going to be huge. And let me tell you one more thing before it's over. The economy it's gonna get bad. I was just talking to a watch guy. Where are you? The watch guy was telling me about my watches. There you go. He just told me, he said, industry secret, but you don't tell a networker secret, right? He was telling me about my watches, whatever. I got a couple of, I like watches. And he was like, hey, Mike, because I'm looking for a third one right now. And he's like, well, if you wait a few months, I'm sorry, industry secret. You should know better, right? So he's like, it's gonna get better in a few months. They're all gonna drop. Everything's gonna drop, guys. Everything, guys. The economy, and like Meredith said, people are gonna be looking for this. This is the solution for what's coming. This is the solution for what's here. And most people that you talk to don't even know about it. But you stick in there, guys, because we've got the answer.
And you know what? This is it. This is it. Like they said before, like they've been saying in the conference, like the name of the conference that's gonna stick to us for the rest of the LifeWave journey. But guys, we have the cookie. When you realize what you have in your hands, that's when it's all gonna be real to you, and you're gonna go out there and nobody's gonna be able to stop you, because the blessings you're gonna be able to see unfold right before your eyes is gonna be the biggest blessing you ever see in your life, and that's gonna make it all worth it, guys. So let's do this. It takes work, but it's sure worth it. The ones that are up here can tell you. So we don't wanna be up here alone. So let's make it happen, guys. Come on, let's go.
Hey, that's it. So guys, real quick, we got 30 seconds. The secret of this, and Javi and Olga are just masters of this, is just go down in depth. Right? I don't care who's in my business. I don't care who brought you. If you're in my business, I want to run with you. We're willing to jump on a plane. We're willing to go across seas. We want to help every single one of you. I see you, Jen, baby. Love you, honey. So guys, listen. After this weekend, you came here for a purpose. Someone this weekend said something that you needed to hear. To go light your fire. Now go out there and make it happen. We believe in you. God bless you. This is it. Let's go, baby. Rock and roll.
Yeah, I had goosebumps again watching that. Watching these people laugh, there was actually just no words. And like I say, the most humble, down-to-earth people that I've ever met wanting to make a difference. And you heard what he said at the end there. Javi and Olga are masters at working in the depth, working in the deep. So Javi always says he's a manager-making machine. Now, a manager-making machine, what does he mean by that? Manager is the first step. So as we all know, you become a brand partner and you get your kit. You start off either bronze, or you start off with silver, you start off with gold, and you can upgrade to platinum, or you can join at platinum and diamond. Those are just the kits that you have registered, and that's your kit where you started. Then what is the next step? The next step is manager. So people ask, okay, what is manager? Manager is having 2 silvers on your left and 2 silvers on your right, and you need to be the minimum of gold and doing 110 PV per 31-day cycle. What is 110
personal volume? Personal volume.
I was just saying, what is PV? PV stands for personal volume. So PV meaning personal volume, 110 points. As we know, each sleeve carries a point volume, right? A X39 is 77 points. A supplementary product is 55 points. So to make sure that you are active every month and you keep those points, you need to do the minimum of 110. So if you do an X39 and say a supplementary product, that is 132 points. That's all you have to do to be an active brand partner of LifeWave, is 1.5 sleeves a month. Yes, George?
So a lot of people have been caught by this, and they've decided to get 2 55-point products, 2 supplementary sleeves, but there's a discount there, and it suddenly doesn't add up to the 110 points. I've had many people with that. So be aware, if you decide to buy, instead of X39 and something else, or 2 X39s or an X39, X49, if you decide to buy 1A-on-1 glutathione, you're not going to get the 110 points. It's come up a few times recently. I was caught out by it once.
Now, it's actually just about to go into the value if you go to the 2 X39 points, and then I was going to bring it back. exactly what you just explained now. So so that's manager, and you guys heard Mike. He was talking about auto-ship. Now auto-ship is I call it the safety net. What I mean by safety net, guys, you don't want this to happen where you're sitting with points accumulating, and when those points accumulate, I call that low-lying fruit. So in other words, you're sitting there and you've got money sitting there waiting. All you have to do is just build the other leg. And once those cycle bonuses kick in, because as we know, you've got 300, your one leg, the one that does 660 points, the other leg where you do 330 points. Now, I told you the values of the two sleeves, the 77 and 55, that's where volume comes from. That's where points come from. So every time you've got 33 points hitting the side, you're getting cycle bonus, cycle bonus, cycle bonus. So being on the auto ship means that you'll never ever lose those points. But I always want to go back to is you need to be a product of the product. I want you to think about this very carefully. You need to be a product of the product. So when you talk about being on auto ship, we're talking about a minimum of 2 sleeves of patches a month. Now, if you've got a household, firstly, if it's say a couple, you guys should at least be on the X39 every single month anyway. So people don't need to be scared of auto ship. And something that's very important, yes, guys, trust me, I know life happens. Life can throw you a curveball out of the blue. Suddenly your car's broken down, the geyser is broken, kids need help. Guys, we live in the real world, and I understand stuff happens, right? So, and you might go, now what do I do? Oh my goodness, I'm locked into an auto ship. Nope, you're not locked into auto ship. All you simply do is on your back office, you go to auto ship and you can cancel it at any given time and you can reinstate it at any given time. It is as simple as that. It's not like signing a debit order that you're going to try and get out of. All you do is click 2 buttons. And I also explain that in the toolbox document, showing how to set up your auto ship and how to move it out if you need to, so that you can do. So I thought I'd just mention that on auto ship, that you're not tied in. So, but this is where we're talking about, as Mark was saying, a residual income, which is so important, a residual income. So, when you're upgrading, this is what I did. I'll tell you exactly what happened with me. I joined at bronze, then I upgraded to silver, then I upgraded to gold. Once I upgraded to gold, then I set myself straight onto auto ship. Because you see, there's no need for me to be in auto ship straight away if I was busy upgrading. But then the moment I got to a certain point, and I'd been in for 2.5 months, so I started to realize the importance of it. I set myself in the Cinder on auto ship immediately.
But he wanted to come in as gold, and he said to me, "I'm going to come in as gold next week, but I don't have the money this week." Silver. Sorry, I'm going to come in as silver next week. And I said, "Go get the money and come in bronze this week, because I know who's going to come into the matrix below you this weekend. So get in and upgrade," which he did. He listened to me and he did.
No, completely. I saw Sandy. She just typed in there. Sandy did exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. So, the auto ship is the lifeblood of the business, because that's where your proper passive income comes in, because you don't want people forgetting about it.
One other thing to add, to become manager and stay manager. Staying manager is important. The 2 silvers that you've invited need to stay active. So people being people, some people stay active, some people don't. Some people do auto ship, some people don't. So I've had people surprised. They go, "We've invited 2 people on the left," and I go, "Yeah, but they're not active. And your 2 people on the right are active, for example, but the 2 on the left are not. So you're not manager." So it's important. Well, when I saw this, I said straight away, I want to have 6 managers on each leg. So I just invited loads of people. I know that. I think Chris is going to show a video that underlines that. But there's also, we've got Javi on the call now, and I don't know how long he's on the call. I saw him, and now do I see he's gone? Oh, no, there he is. maybe you can make him a co-host, because I know he wanted to talk about a little bit, and you've mentioned this, working in the deep. When I met Javi, I always used to use an expression, the money's in the deep, and he always used to use an expression, I go down in the deep. And we were saying something similar, but with a different focus. And I'd love him to, before you go on with the binary and so on, a little bit, in case he has to go, he wanted to say something. Perhaps unmute Javi. No, you need to make him he's co-host.
Yeah, I've made Javi co-host. Just check. I was hoping. Yeah, Javi. I think he said he sent me a message. He's on a call to Steve. So I think he's probably just on another phone call right now.
Okay, well let's
But,
then continue, but make sure we get into that.
Yeah. So so basically, what we really wanted to get across was the importance of what David was talking about, right in the beginning, the industry that we're in. And I wanted everybody to witness what Mark spoke about. So what we're going to do is I was going to play the 15-minute clip where he's got the comp plan, but what I'm going to do is straight after this recording, when I put it onto the group, I'm actually going to put Mark's separate training on the 15-minute comp plan straight afterwards. So Graham, you can have a look at that. It covers everything on how the legs work, left and right. So I don't want to take up too much time. I always like to keep the Thursday trainings to just on an hour, which is where we are at. We give the information to everybody in bite-sized chunks. Anything after an hour, people can start to lose a bit of tension. So George, you want to close off?
Okay, so if Javi's not there, I can. What he wanted to talk about is really, and this is probably not at the beginning that evident. I know Chris has probably got a different perspective on this than a few months ago. Javi always says, I go down into the deep. He says people, either you identify them as leaders or they identify themselves. So I identified myself because on the first day that I saw the video, I said, I want to try this, but I want to talk to somebody who's been in this company for a while. They said, there's this guy called Javi in America. I said, get him on a call with me. So in that sense, I identified myself. Now, for example, somebody in my downline, I suddenly saw a name appearing 4 or 5 times on a weekend. I went, I don't know that name. Who is it? Let me go and investigate. And I saw she was on my left leg. And I went to look at what she was doing, and I could see she was inviting people, but not placing them right. So I got in touch with her. I said, look, I'm in your upline, and I think you are, I think you want to do this because I can see you've invited all these people this weekend, but you haven't placed them right. You could actually be manager. And I said, I think you need some guidance. She said, yes. I do. I said, what do you want? She said, I want the 1,500. I said, what do you mean the 1,500? I want the 1,500 a week. Okay, then let me start working with you. So it's also important for us because our lines grow very quickly in one sense, and you could have somebody 10 people away from you, invited by the person you invited, and you don't know that person, and they don't know you, and the people in between may have only invited one person. And so what's happening, and we discovered, is a couple of times people don't know who their upline is, and it's kind of important to reach into your downline and see who's there and who wants help, and give them as much help as possible. We have a gentleman who was on the call, but he's not on, that Wilson invited today. He's 6 levels below me, I think. And he said to me, but if you're working with me, you're doing these calls, but if I sign up, will you make any money? I said, no, you're like 6 levels away from me. I won't make any money directly from what you do, and I won't get matching bonus from you. But when you make this big, as you say you want to do, when you make this big, I will be benefiting by all the points you're bringing into my unilevel points. Those points are the points that help you, once you're senior director, to become executive director, presidential director, senior presidential director. Those are called unilevel points. So he then said, okay, cool. He was happy with that because he wanted to know that what he was doing would also benefit me. And then I said, and it's my job to help you to be successful, because the more successful you are, the more successful I am. And so what Javi wanted to talk about was reaching into the deep in your downlines and knowing who those people are and supporting the ones who want to be supported. He always used the expression, love people where they're at, go where the energy flows. We don't want to be, I have one person who keeps telling me, I've talked to him again and he's not listening, and I've talked to him again and he's not listening. I said, stop talking to him. The more you talk to him, the least he's going to listen. Keep inviting people till you find people who say, I want to do this.
So that just makes me think about the last thing I want to finish off on is don't wait till the presentation every Tuesday, the one that I do with a new person, or the one that George does on a Wednesday. Don't wait. The time is too long. The moment a person joins, we need to get, say to a person, within the next 24, 48, up to 72 hours, let's get onto a private Zoom. And that's what we're here for. This is the help that we give. And I'm busy training people. Yeah. I'm busy training people right now to present the presentation. I was on a call this morning with Marcel, and it was an hour. We went through the presentation. She was making notes, and now she's able to present. And I said to her, the first presentation, I'll be on the call with her, helping her to learn to present. I'm doing that with the team with Desiree on Monday. So that's what we talk about, working in the deep. And we will help you guys to present the presentation. I've made it as duplicatable as possible. So, guys, one of the biggest things is let's just have a lot of fun. Yes, George?
Absolutely. But look, when he says get person on a call with the upline, now you may have a person who invited you who doesn't really know very much, who can't help you. So track back to the person who can help you. So if it is Chris, let's say you're 3 levels below Chris, but somebody doesn't, you get through to Chris and he will help you. But if Chris has been a bit bad for that, because he hasn't, very few people he's done 3-way calls with me, but I always do 3-way calls with my new people, with Javi, for example, because I had to track back through my upline because all the people between him and me are not particularly active or aren't in the position to give help. So, everybody who's in my downline, in my organization, which all you are, reach out to Chris, reach out to me, and we're here to help you. Anybody who knows me knows I'm pretty quick on WhatsApp in responding. I'm no good in Facebook, no good in Telegram, but because I just don't have the bandwidth for it. But WhatsApp, there's very rarely a message that takes more than a few hours to get answered.
Awesome. Thank you, George, and thank you for everything you do for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And also, in closing off, guys, if you haven't watched the training I did called Getting Started with a Bang, ask for it on the group. I'll repost it. That's just going to take you step by step, 42 minutes on how to get started.
And please post immediately the one that we didn't watch now.
Yes.
At 15 minutes, so everybody can go straight to it.
I'm going to do this first, and then straight away that, so I can follow the right sequence. Otherwise, it won't make sense just posting it.
Okay, and perhaps
Awesome.
Remember, we talked about the one from Gina's sister, Sandy Mera, about upgrading versus auto ship. You remember
we'll cover that one. Yeah, we'll cover that one in the next training.
Perhaps you can post it on the group as well.
Shall do. Perfect. Okay, guys.
Well,
enjoy your morning, enjoy your afternoon, enjoy your evening.
Next time I talk to you, I'll be in Portugal.
Awesome. Enjoy. Good night, everybody. See you all soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Okay, bye. Bye.